Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start, of course, give all honor and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Double honors to the elders of great millstone, rule well, teach well, sound doctrine. Shalom, shalom to the hopeful elect, and a large multitude of men, women, and children. The Lord have mercy on these last days. Brother Kadash, come back with another lesson through the spirit power, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. I want to thank YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI for blessing me with another lesson through the spirit to bring out today. Now, real quick, slack for the raspy voice, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, but the spirit was on me to bring this out. Real quick, I want to touch on the concept and the importance of prayer, because a lot of Jay get excited about coming to the truth, but they forget that the fundamentals, right? You got anything that you do in life, you have to have fundamentals, you have to have principles, and things that keep things in order. Okay, you boxing, football, basketball, whatever it is, you have to have balance. You have to have the right diet, little things that you have to do, but really are big things that keep that engine running. So, right, prayer helps keep your ministry going. You can't just be in the truth and never pray. You can't be in the truth and pray once a month. Yahawashi was always in prayer. The apostles and prophets were always in prayer. Right, so it's time to get an understanding on this, right? I did a lesson on this before, but it was on our old channel. So the Most High placed on me to do it again today. All right, so I want to start off with Ephesians 6:17, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit. What's the sword of the Spirit? Which is the word of Yahawah. The word of Yahawah is the sword of the Spirit. So by praying, we gain strength. By praying, we gain hope and faith. You see, because our voice is heard. Right, we're speaking and petitioning the heavens, okay, which leads us to His word. So now we understand His voice, right, and now we're able to keep sharpening our sword, right, because our spirit is growing. It says, verse 18, praying always. So we always supposed to be in prayer, man. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. You see, so we are supposed to be always in prayer, man. Always in prayer, praying without ceasing. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Pray without ceasing. Okay, meaning you're supposed to always be in prayer. Basically, is what that's saying. You always in a recurrence. Okay, always praying consistently. Okay, right, not taking days off and going on prayer vacations. All right, you're always supposed to be in prayer, because why? Prayer is important. And to be honest, only the meek is heard. Okay, only the prayers of the meek are heard. Not everybody's prayer is heard. Even when you pray on something and it seemed like it came to pass, you prayed on a new vehicle and then you got a new vehicle a month later. Those things are not, the Lord is not, listen, the Lord is not, you're not blessed. Okay, the Lord is not rewarding you. Okay, because the scriptures say, blessed is the meek of the earth. Blessed is the meek of the earth, right? So since that's the case, since the meek are the only ones being heard, only then is this message for them. Okay, this ministry, this gospel is for them. And who's the meek? The elect and a large multitude of men, women, and children. The Lord have mercy on these last days. Right? Okay, so matter of fact, let's get Proverbs 15 and 29. It says, Yahawah is far from the wicked, but He heareth the prayer of the righteous. The righteous are the meek of the earth, the meek, the humble, the lowly, the ones who are spirit sensitive, right? Meaning, what I mean by spirit sensitive, they are discerners. They can spiritually discern between the flesh and the spirit, because they're walking to the best of their ability in YAHAWASHI. Psalms 34:17, it reads, the righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. You see, the Lord is going to fight for those who love him, man. Okay? He's going to fight for those who love him, man. Why? Because those who love him do his will, do his work. Those who love him are patient. James 1:3, 1:4, let patient have her perfect work. An entire want nothing, man. In the end, by you having being patient, you don't desire the flesh. You don't desire the ways of the world. Okay? Okay? It says, this because you're low, you're meek. Verse 18, Yahweh is nigh unto them that are of broken heart, and saves such as be of contrite spirit, because the ones that are in wickedness, they're not low. They're not in broken heart because they're in mirth. They're in rejoicing. They're in a good state. But the scriptures tell you this is not our rest. Okay? This is not our rest, man. So we supposed to be throwing up supplications day in, day out, all times of the day, man. But Esau designed this system to oppress you, right? To the point that it plays on your mental. So all you can think about is how to survive like him. Now all you can think about is how to do this or that. But you take your mind off YAHAWASHI. Because like I said, this is for them, man. This is for the meek. Real quick, just to prove that again, Isaiah 61:1. It says, the spirit of Yahweh, AHABNAWA, is upon me, because the spirit of Yahweh, it's like it. Let me read that again. The spirit of Yahweh, AHABNAWA, is upon me, because Yahweh have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. So we are to preach this word to the meek, man. To seal the meek. The meek are the elect. He have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, because the meek are brokenhearted. To proclaim liberty, meaning freedom, to the captives. The meek are captive. We all are captive, but the meek are captive, right? Because Israel, 2/3, is still captive in the mind. But the meek are, Romans 12:1-2, transformed by the renewing of their mind. They are living sacrifices. In the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn. You see? All that mourn, man. And the meek are the ones that are mourning, man. Because look, when you go to Zephaniah 2:3, it says, seek ye Yahweh, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgments. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of Yahweh's anger. And the meek is going to be hid because they were constant in prayer. They were constant in fasting. They were crying. And throwing up supplications and petitions to the heavens day in and day out, man. Okay? Because the meek is a representation of the heavenly body, man. Or the heavenly mindset. Because Yahawashi was meek. When you go to Matthew 11:29, it reads, take my yoke upon you, right? That broken heart, and learn of me. See, he said, learn of me. So now when you in a meek mindset, or you become meek, you are of Yahawashi, because you're walking in him, man. Because you've learned him. You're learning him. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. Huh? For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Yeah, because to follow the Lord is easy, but it's a stumbling block, a snare unto those who are wicked. Okay? When you go to Wisdom of Solomon 1:1, he says, love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of Yahweh with a good heart, good mind, and in simplicity of heart seek him. Okay, so it's all about simplicity, man. Okay, and praying keeps you in the mindset of simplicity. Okay, but when you're wicked, you deny these words. Proverbs 28, 29. I'll combine 28 and verse 9. It says, he that turneth away his ear, meaning understanding, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer should be an abomination. So if you're not hearkening to these words of YAHAWASHI, why do you think the Lord is hearing your prayers? He's not, man. Okay? He's not. Now, I wanted to touch on a few points, right? Now that we got that out the way, when you pray, the prayers are sent because the Lord have everything in balance, okay? So when you pray, that your prayers actually is sent up into the heavens, and then the angels are the first ones to intercept, and then it goes to the Messiah, and the Messiah takes it to the Father. Okay, because it's order. It's order. And just to prove that real quick, you got Tobit. All right, in the Apocrypha, Tobit chapter 12, verse 15. It reads, I am Raphael, right? Raphael is a healing angel, right? Matter of fact, let's start at 14. And now Yahawah have sent me to heal thee and Sarah thy daughter-in-law. And I am Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels, which present the prayers. You see that? Which present the prayers of the saints, and which go in and out before the glory of the Holy One. You see, so he present the prayers of his saints. Who are the saints? Psalms 148:14, Israelites. Psalms 50, Israelites. One more just to back that up. We got Revelations 5:8. And when he had taken the book, and the 4 beasts and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, right? Which are the prayers of saints. So they took the everything that was pleasing to the Father, and one of those things were the prayers of the saints. Okay, so they present them before the Lord, and then the Messiah, which is our mediator, he pleads our cause, and then the prayer gets sent back down. Okay, showing you that it's order real quick. This is 1 Corinthians 11. We can start at the top. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Hamashiach. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep ordinance as I deliver them to you. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is Yahawah. Right? That's the order. Yahawah, Yahawashi, man, woman, child, nations, beast. Okay? Verse 4. Every man praying or prophesying having his head covered, dishonor of his head. So the man is supposed to have his head uncovered, because Yahawashi is your head. Okay? It says, verse 5, that's like shutting the door on your head, man. But every woman that pray or prophesy, right, a woman can't prophesy like on the street. The way a woman prophesies is she prophesies through dreams and visions that the Lord gives her, and then she gives it to her husband, and her Lord, being her husband, breaks it down to her. That's how a woman prophesied. Okay, it says, with her head uncovered, dishonor of her head, for that is even all one as if she were shaven. Right? It's a shame for a woman to have bald head. Okay, because she looks just like a man. The woman's hair is her glory, is her crown. See, the only reason why women walk around with bald heads today is because a lot of them can't grow their hair, and a lot of them don't. They're too lazy. They don't have the mindset of a princess, which makes them lazy. So therefore, they shave it all off. You see. So, but that's just what it is, because our women, our women, like the scriptures say, beauty is changed. Who changed the what did it say? It's probably in the same chapter. No, damn, I can't remember what that says. It's probably in the Apocrypha from First Maccabees. Yeah, it's in First Maccabees. 1. It said, this is First Maccabees 1 and verse, just bear with me. Yeah, where is it at? Okay, 1 and 26. So that the princes and elders, I started 25. Therefore there was a great mourning in Israel in every place where they were, so that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed. You see, but the beauty of women was changed ultimately through sin, okay? That's just what it is. Okay, 1 Corinthians 14:40. Let all things be done decently and in order. So the Lord deals with order. He deals with balance. So how do you actually pray? You pray with balance. You pray with order. Now, what is that? What is order? Order is how you pray. An example of that is what the Messiah gave us. Okay, so you pray with praise and worship, right? You praise. So you start off your prayers. You praise the Father. Okay, you magnify His name. Okay, and then you throw your supplication up / petition. Supplication and petition go hand in hand. It's just same thing. Like even if you like go into different translations, some versions might have petition, some versions might have supplication. Okay, it just means to beg. All right, pity. All right, it's you throwing up your cries, you crying out. Okay, and then you end it with praise and worship, and then you seal it with amen. That's how you that's how you let the Father know you're done with your prayer. Okay, now we can get Matthew 6. If we can start at the top. Take heed that ye do not your alms before men to be seen of them, otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. So you're not supposed to go out there and be praying on the street and shit, and and just having one big ass prayer party, like what I'm saying, on the street. And no, man, no. Okay, that's to be seen of men, so people can ride past you and record you and put you on social media and say, look at the good deeds these people are doing for the community. No. Verse 2, therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogue and in the streets. See, there you have it. That they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have the reward. I remember we was coming from camp. This dude was praying. This Arab. I don't even know what nationality he is, but he looked Arabian, and he got mad. We was going back and forth because he on the street just kneeling and praying for this dude in the wheelchair. Man, take your ass in the alley somewhere, or you could have easily walked into Tower City, easily walked into one of them area restaurants or whatever was in that area, and pray for him, man. Okay, you don't have to be on the street so everybody can see you doing good deed, man. Hey, but like Revelations 22 going to, the Lord is coming quickly, and His reward is with Him, man, to reward every man according to his work shall be. Verse 3, but when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth. Okay, that's simply saying, right, because you don't pray and then you're gonna say, yeah, I prayed for Johnny today, he's doing pretty bad. I prayed that his feet will heal in the name of Yahweh. No, bro, you don't listen. That's going off. Okay, you don't have to tell everything and say everything to everybody. That's letting your right hand know what your left hand is doing. Okay. It says that thy alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret Himself shall reward thee openly. And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, right? Because it's all hypocritical when people do that, right? For they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men, right? You got these pastors on these podiums, on these stages, with 20,000 people, and they hold their hands up and they close their eyes, and they tell you, even the ones on TV, tell you to touch the screen. And look, man, listen, are you reading the scriptures, man? No, but it's okay. We know. It says, when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. And I remember now, when I did this lesson before, someone posted on a comment board that they was edified by the lesson, and they were just asking that, okay, well, if since this is the case, how do you pray when you're at a restaurant, when you're about to pray before you eat your food? And I simply tell them, like, this is what I do. I might even walk to the bathroom and pray to the Father and thank Him for the food that we are about to eat. Or, I might even just throw something up quick, like without nobody seeing me, like in terms of like, I might be like acting like I'm rubbing my face or something, and I might be saying a prayer under my hand. You know what I'm saying? So something like that. I just make sure that I don't be out there trying to make men see me, have men see me as a man and woman. Just to gain vainglory, man. Okay, just a quick tip. Verse 6, it says, "But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet." So that's an example of me going into the bathroom if I'm at a restaurant to pray. "And when thou hast shut thy door, pray to the Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly." Because this word is ultimately a secret, man. This book is a secret, man. It's not given to every man. It's not given to everyone. Okay? It says, "But when ye pray, use not vain repetition." He said, when you pray, use not vain repetition. Now what? Because a lot of people, every day they say the same thing. I will let me get a car. I will let me get a house. I will let me get a woman. I will let me get a house. Let me get a car. Let me get a woman. Let me get a house. Let me get a car. Let me get a woman. The Lord, like, shut up. Because that's vain repetition. The Lord know what you need, and it's going to further explain that. But I want to get this precept real quick. In Sirach chapter 7, and in verse 14, it says, "Use not many words in a multitude of elders," right? Because when you use many words in a multitude of elders, you're showing yourself to be a fool, because the elders have natural wisdom, and don't let an elder be built up in the truth. It's over with. So when you come around, you start using many words to seem like you're wise, you just make yourself look like a fool. And make not much babbling when thou prayest, right? Don't bring confusion, man, in your prayer, man, by using vain repetition, using vain speech, and the things that the Father already know you need, man. Sometimes you throw things in there like, I just pray for my health, and just stuff like that. But you're not about to keep praying. Listen, you might hit it once, like, Abba, I just pray that I'm able to have my rent for the next month. I know you'll make a way. You know what I'm saying? But you don't keep saying, Father, you don't keep harping on it, man. And I've been guilty of that in the past before I had understanding of this. Okay, so it's just something you got to harping on. Oh, and what's an example of vain repetition? We can go to Matthew. No, not Matthew. We could just get the one in Luke. Luke 18, verse 9. It said, "He spake this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others," right? Because the ones who do these are deeming themselves or considering themselves to be righteous. And you don't know who the hell you are, man. You might this whole time been thinking you was cool. Like Matthew 7 say, "Many shall call on the name of the Lord and say, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? Have we not cast out devils in thy name?" Look, man, at the end of the day, you still a 2/3, man. Okay, we don't know who we are, man. Just like Judas Iscariot, he didn't know he was gonna be that nigga that had to be the one to give up YAHAWASHI to fulfill prophecy, right? He didn't know. Okay, so was that Peter that denied him 3 times? He didn't know he was gonna do that. He said, "I'll be with you to the end, man. I will never deny thee, man." Okay, so this is an example of vain repetition. Luke 18:10, 2 men went up into the temple to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a publican, right? Publican representing the meek, and the Pharisee representing the ungodly. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself, "Yahweh, I thank thee that I am not as the other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. If I fast twice in a week, I give tithes of all that I possess." And the publican, standing afar off, will not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, showing his meekness, his meekness and his humility, right? But smote upon his breast, saying, "Yahweh, be merciful to me, a sinner." I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. Okay, so these are the things in the mind, and this is the mindset that you are to have when you are praying until YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI, man. Okay, so Matthew 6 and 7 again. But when you pray, use not vain repetitions, as the heathen do, because these are the ways of the nations, because they seek our power. They seek our power, right? You can read that in Ezra 4, chapter 4, 1 through 4. They seek our power, man. They always seek to praise our power, but they can't. So they use vain repetition because the Lord is not hearing them. For they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking. You see that? So you just because you think you should be heard for your much speaking, so you say it over and over and over again, man. Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things ye need of before you ask him. You see? After this manner, therefore pray ye. And now this is the Lord giving you the order. Now you can add, we say this at my house, in my home. We say this actual prayer and many other prayers. Or you can, but really what this is the order of the prayer. Okay, this is how powerful it is that you can say this as an actual prayer. And you can also use this to pray throughout the day as the order of prayer. And I'm going to show you. After this manner, therefore pray ye. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Hallowed is just meaning holy. Hallowed or holy be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us in our debts as we forget our debtors. Or you can say forgive us in our trespasses. Forgive us our trespasses. We forget our trespasses. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. You see, so this is an example of prayer, right? Now, I'm going to say it in the Hebrew. AHABNAWA, Shabbat Shemayim, Qadash, Haya Shemka, Yahawah, Malak Wataka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya Asha, Baratazakawa, Haya Bashemayim, Latan Lalawa, Lacham, Call Yuwam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawaf Yenawa, Wala'a, Tabia'a Nawa, Banasayawan, Abo, Hawashai Nawa, Monrai, Kaya Laka, Hamalakwa, Wahala, Watapara, LAIWALAMYAM. Aman. Okay, so that's how you say it in the Hebrew. Now, what this is showing you is what? Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That's the praise part. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. That's the praise part. Then it's the what? Petition, supplication. Give us this day our daily bread. He's begging for daily wisdom. And forgive us in our debts as we forgive our debtors. Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And that's the petition. And then what? And with the praise. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. And then you seal it with Amen. Okay, that's the order of prayer. Okay, that's the order of prayer. So, and we can close out with and you also supposed to face Jerusalem. You supposed to face Jerusalem, not east. Like you're supposed to face the east. But it's a difference because a lot of people face the east in ignorance. But when you do this in ignorance, you're praising the sun because the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So if you face the east towards the sun, you're doing sun worship. That's what the Egyptians did, the Babylonians did, etc. The Catholic Church, etc. You got to be careful. So it's an app you can use, right? I don't have it on this phone. This is a newer phone. I had it on my old phone, but I have it on my wife's phone, and it's an app you can use that shows you, and it points. I think it's called One Way or something like that. Don't quote me on it, but it's an app you can use that points in the direction of Jerusalem, and you pray towards the holy place. You pray towards Jerusalem, man. Okay, and let me get a quick example on sun worship in the Bible. Okay, so everything you need to know is in this book, man. Ezekiel 8:14. We can start. Because what you're doing is weeping for Tammuz. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was toward the north. And behold, there sat a woman weeping for Tammuz. Tammuz is the son of Nimrod and Semiramis, right? Which is supposed to be Nimrod in the reincarnation. right? Symbolic for what was going on with Yahweh and YAHAWASHI, man. They knew the story and the teachings from Noah, you know, his grandfather and his father, and then they took the stories and they came up with their own versions. 15. Then said he unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner court, verse 16, of Yahweh's house. And behold, at the door of the temple of Yahweh, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, and their backs toward the temple of Yahweh. So if you go online, you research Muslims worshiping with their backs toward the temple, that's exactly what they do, because they would do sun worship. It's a picture I used in this last lesson with well, not this prayer lesson, but I did a lesson called Saturn, and I show how Saturn worship is linked with all of that, and why they walk around the cobblestone how many certain amount of times, and the way they do from an bird's eye view, it looks like Saturn. It's supposed to be like Saturn. So that's another lesson for another day. But the point is that they worship towards the ground with their backs actually against the temple. Okay, so and then a picture that I used actually had the sun setting behind them. Okay, the sun setting behind them, showing you that they were worshiping toward the east because the sun sets in the west. Okay, that's an example of that, right? But us here in America, depending on where you at, Jerusalem is located in the east. Okay, so that's why you have to use an app and things like that to be certain. Okay, you don't want to be certain having sun worship on your belt. It says, between the porch and the altar were about 25 men with their backs toward the temple of Yahweh and their faces toward the east, and they worshiped the sun toward the east. Okay, so that's that, and we can close out with 1 Kings, showing you the order and how King Solomon prayed, man. Okay, showing you that we supposed to face Jerusalem when we pray. Showing you the like I said, the petition and the supplication that he threw up. This is verse 22. And Solomon stood before the altar of Yahweh in the presence of all the congregation of Israel and spread forth his hands toward heaven. That's another thing. You supposed to, when you pray, you don't supposed to keep, you don't put your hands together like the Christian church taught you. You supposed to put your hands toward the heavens, man. Spread your hands toward the heavens. It shows a sign of submission. That's a sign of submission. That's a sign of humbleness. Okay, meekness, like we opened up with. Don't the trees praise the Lord with open arms? The branches on the trees are with open arms. Okay. You know, the grass praise the Lord with open arms, right? It spreads toward the heavens. Okay. Everything has its hands open. So it says, Solomon stood before the altar of Yahweh in the presence of all the congregation of Israel and spread forth his hands toward heaven. Okay, it's not going off. If you have the congregation, it's the brotherhood, the body. So if you amongst the brothers, it's not going off for the brothers to pray. Okay, and if y'all came together and y'all was breaking bread at one of the brothers' houses, and y'all want to throw up a prayer together, y'all can, man. Okay, because y'all in secret. 23, and he said, YAHAWAH, power of Yasha'Allah, there is no power like thee in heaven above or on earth beneath, who keep his covenant and mercy with thy servants that walk before thee with all their heart. See, that's that meekness. It says, who has kept with thy servant David, my father, that thou promised him, thou spakest also with thy mouth, and hast fulfilled it with thy hand, as it is this day. Therefore now YAHAWAH of Yasha'Allah keep with thy servant Dawadah, my father, that thou promised him, saying, there shall not fail thee a man in my sight to sit on the throne of Israel, so that thy children take heed to their way, that they walk before me as thou hast walked before me. That they walk before me as thou hast walked before me. 26. And now, YAHAWAH, let thy word, I pray thee, be verified, which thou spakest by thy servant David, my father. But will Yahweh indeed dwell on earth? Behold, the heaven of heavens cannot contain thee. How much less this house that I have built it? So the Lord, I mean, not the Lord, well, this is the Lord, Yahawashi, King Solomon, but that's another lesson for another day. But Solomon's up here, man. He's showing the order again, praise and worship and petitioning, man. Okay, it says 28. Yeah, and you can read this. I might not read all of it, because it goes down to 61. Okay, it's only 66 verses in this chapter, but the prayer ends at 61. I probably won't read all of it for the sake of time, but I just want to hit a few points. It says that verse 29, that thine eyes may be open toward this house night and day. What house? Where is this house located? Is in Jerusalem, man. Even toward the place of which thou hast said, my name shall be there, that thou mayest hearken unto the prayer which thy servant shall make toward this place. So your prayers is, you supposed to pray towards the Holy Land, man. Okay, that's a requirement. And hearken thou to the supplication of thy servant, right? The cry of thy servant, of thy people Israel, when they shall pray toward this place. And hear thou in heaven, thou dwelling place, and when thou hearest, forgive. So that's Solomon, in order right there, man. 31, if any man trespass against his neighbor, and an oath be laid upon him to cause him to swear, and the oath come before thine altar in this house, then hear thou in heaven, and do and judge thy servant, condemning the wicked, to bring his way upon his head, and justifying the righteous, to give him according to his righteousness. When thy people Israel be smitten down before thy enemies, because they have sinned against thee, and shall turn again to thee, and confess thy name, and you're supposed to confess the name of the Lord. To pray and have your prayer heard, you have to know the names of the Father, which is Yahweh, and the name of the Son, which is Yahawashi. That's an important piece, the most important piece to prayer. When thy people Israel be smitten down before thy enemy, because they have sinned against thee, and shall turn against to thee, and confess thy name, and pray, and make supplication unto thee in this house, then hear thou in heaven, forgive the sin of thy people. He said, once Israel do this, then he asked in the Lord, then forgive, then forgive. Okay, and forgive the sin of thy people, and bring them again into the land which thou gavest unto their fathers. When heaven is shut up and there is no rain because they have sinned against thee, if they pray toward this place. See, he's saying, he's just giving examples of all these trials and tribulations come upon thee, right? When all these things is plaguing us, he said, if they pray toward this place, so we have to pray toward the place and confess thy name and turn from their sin. You have to repent. When thou afflictest them, then hear thou in heaven, and forgive the sin of thy servants and of thy people Israel, that thou teach them the good way wherein they should walk, and give rain upon thy land which thou hast given to thy people for an inheritance. Okay, so it says, verse 37, if there be in the land famine, if there be pestilence, blasting, mildew, locust, or if there be a caterpillar, if their enemy besiege them in the land of their cities, whatsoever plague, whatsoever sickness there be, what prayer and supplication soever be made by any man or by all thy people Israel, which shall know every man the plague of his own heart, right? Because you know what you've done, okay? And spread forth his hands toward this place. So there's another example of the spreading the hands, okay? So, man, it's another verse that I wanted to get, but you can read this on your own. I just pray, this is the concept of prayer, the order of prayer, all right, and the things you must do in order for your prayer to get heard, okay? So I just ended there. I pray this was edifying to the lambs, to the sheep of YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI. Again, I pray this was edifying. Brother Kadash, Shalom.